Yeah, Courtney, here at the Reserve at Lake Kiowee, it's the annual media golf outing for the Clemson men's and women's basketball teams. Now, I know we're still in football season, but basketball season, which is hard to believe, is right around the corner. Now, we'll start with the women, and Coach Audra Smith acknowledges that last season wasn't the greatest. They lost their last 18 games of the year, including in the ACC tournament, to Wake Forest, but she says they've already forgotten about that, and she says with a season like that, it's important to have a short memory.
One of the biggest things for us is that, we had a ton of young kids that received a lot of experience. And there's nothing, you can't teach experience. There's nothing you can do with that. And then that's been tremendous for us to have that amount of experience. Just the positive attitude of the players, how hard they've been working, the fact that they do not want a repeat of last season. And they're doing everything within their power to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Now, for the men, expectations are higher as they did have a pretty solid season last year, but they echoed the women in the fact that they have already forgotten about last season. But what they do know is that in a league full of 4 or 5 Hall of Fame coaches and a conference that seems everyone can get into the tournament, they are ready to take it to the next level.
I do think we have experience. I think we have a talented player in Jerron Blossomgame, who's an all-conference type guy, and hopefully this team will continue to grow as we mature through the season.
Now, one of the biggest stories in college basketball over the last 12 months was the death of legendary coach Pat Summitt. Now, I'm going to send it back to the studio with Coach Audra Smith's story about how Pat Summitt helped her get her first coaching job.
When I decided to put myself out there after 10 seasons at Virginia to look for to go after a head job, I had a couple of interviews, and the UAB job came up, and I'd sent probably, I'm not kidding, 10 portfolios and resumes and no response. So I was talking with Nikki Caldwell-Fargas, who's now the head coach at LSU, who was at that time Pat's assistant, and she and I were having a conversation one day, and I said, hey, she goes, what's going on? I was like, you know what, I'm looking at this job at UAB. It puts me closer to Georgia, where my family is, and I would really like to have an opportunity just to interview. I've sent in information and no response. And she said, hey, hold a minute. I think Pat knows the AD. And I'm like, okay. She said, hey, hold on for a second. So then, she put me on hold, and she came back. She said, hey, Pat says, can you give her a call tomorrow? Give her a call. No, give her a call tomorrow about this time. I'm like, all right, sure, fine. So I called Pat, and Pat's like, hey, Audra, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, Pat, how are you? She says, I'm good. I said, I'm good. She said, I hear you're interested in UAB. She said, yeah, I know Watson Brown. He was at Vanderbilt. I'll give him a call for you. Gives him a call. And in 2 days, I'm getting a call from the associate AD. Hey, Audra, how are you? We love for you to come down and interview with us. Can you send us a copy of your resume and your portfolio? And I'm going, you guys have 10 copies of it there. So, of course, I didn't say that. But, she has always been an inspiration to me. And then once, I went in and interviewed at UAB and was very blessed and fortunate enough to receive the position there. And the first thing she said to me was like, you're in a tough situation at that institution. It's a mid-major institution, not a lot of money. You have to understand what you're going into. So you're going to have to go, and you're going to have to recruit in some areas. You're going to have to look under some rocks, behind some bushes, find you some gems, find you some players, and that's going to be the name of the game. Once you find you some players, you instill your philosophy of how you want to run your program, and you'll be successful.